So I just made a video talking about my favorite TV show that came out in the year 2021. And while I wasn't watching any of the new anime that really came out last year enough to, give a favorite, I did consume a ton of manga. So I'm gonna be talking about my favorite manga that I read last year. So I went back and read a ton of older manga, Fire Punch, 20th Century Boys, and a bunch of others. I also read series that were just coming out last year, current running series. Things like Demon Slayer, My Hero, and Chainsaw Man, as well as, obviously, Kaiju No. 8, which by the title of this video you can tell is my favorite manga of last year. Also, sorry if my hair fucks up the green screen. I was wearing a hat before, but it was super fucking hot in here with like 80 lights and shit, and I also can't have the fans running because then you're gonna hear it, so I'm basically literally in a fucking sauna in front of a green screen, so that's cool. Before we get into it, like the video and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I work a ton on these videos. It takes a lot of time and effort to record and edit everything. If you could do that, that'd be dope. Now, out of all the series I read, I actually enjoyed pretty much everything I read entirely. I thankfully didn't get into any bad or horrible or even average series. Pretty much everything I read through was good to amazing. But still, even a year of 100% solid reads, Kaiju No. 8 stuck out amongst all of them in my opinion. Now, I initially discovered Kaiju No. 8 through the Shonen Jump app. I was just scrolling through and I saw a picture and I was like, wait, what's that? That looks cool. Let me click on it. I clicked it. I started reading. And it's good. And now I'm here to talk about it. So now I normally don't give manga a try like that. If I see a cool picture, I'll usually at least do some research or really evaluate if I want to read it and if it's a good series for me. But thankfully I took the jump on this series and I don't regret it at all. The first volume just came out in December and I literally just decided to pick it up to show support. I'm way further ahead than the physical releases because I am reading digitally, but I just wanted to show support to the book, to the series, to the publisher, to the writer, everyone involved because I love the series. So what is so special about Kaiju No. 8? Why is it so good? And more importantly, why is it my favorite series of last year? Now, I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, so we're not going to talk about anything super heavy in terms of the plot and storyline here because I don't want to give too much away. So no spoilers. I'm not going to ruin it for anyone, so no spoilers coming forward. I'm just going to be discussing the general plot and maybe a few things from the first volume, but other than that, we're not going to discuss anything past that. So now in this world, kaiju attacks are extremely common. Think kind of like Pacific Rim. So the government comes with this plan to completely counter these large ass monsters. And instead of Pacific Rim, where it's just gigantic monster versus gigantic other monster, they choose little monsters to kind of come in and kill the kaiju. And those little people being part of the Japan Defense Force team, which is tasked with the sole purpose of taking down kaiju. And this is where we meet our main character. I believe it's Kafka, I think. I don't know. I could be butchering his name, but I think. And while Kafka's not really exactly in the Defense Force, he instead is rather kind of a cleanup guy for the Defense Force's mess after they kill a monster. So he's essentially like a big fat kaiju janitor, He's not actually fat, I'm not saying that, but the janitor jobs he's cleaning up, they're fat. However, Kafka has dreamed of joining the Japan Defense Force team pretty much his whole life, and he wants to help fight the great fight against kaiju. However, joining the team just doesn't seem possible because he doesn't have the skills to join. He doesn't have the skills. That is, until he literally swallows, I think it's a piece of a kaiju or maybe like a whole kaiju baby, and then from that, he's able to transform into kind of a human kaiju hybrid monster, basically. And with these insanely cool powers, he wants to use them for good. He wants to use them to take down the other kaiju, basically, that are still attacking the world and Japan. Now, apart from Kafka just trying to be a good person and fight against these monsters, he has one more other motivation. He is in love with his childhood crush, Mina, who is currently in the Japan Defense Force, and he promised her he would join with her. She just happens to be the world's top kaiju killer, so she's like really good. Like, she's cracked at killing kaiju.
And he's cracked at Fortnite, my guy.
I'm talking like S tier. S tier. But if you noticed, Kafka's essentially a kaiju too. Just kidding, he's Kaiju No. 8. So he's a kaiju monster, right? Who wants to join the team that hunts the kaiju monsters, okay? But he's also in love with the top monster killer ever. So if that isn't set up for an insanely just fucking wow story, then I don't know what will. Because there's so much shit that goes on here. And with that, we are set up for what it is, in my opinion, one of the best stories that came out last year. And that's kind of what I love so much about the series. You come in expecting huge kaiju, insane action fights, and all this stuff. And you get that. To be clear, you do get that. But we also have this real, genuine internal conflict with our main character, and then also this external conflict. Because some people on the team kind of know. They kind of know what he is. So there's just a lot of stuff going on in this bubble that is Kaiju No. 8. because on one hand, he knows his very existence puts him, his friends, and his team in danger pretty much every single time. But he also feels like he could use and control his powers for good and to help the world. And maybe in the process of helping the world, he could help himself to some bitches. Just kidding. The love of his life. No bitches found. Just one amazing kaiju killer who literally murders for fun. That's it. And that's for me why I love this story so much. We root for our main character, but we're also extremely scared because what could happen next? Who else can find out about this? What happens if more people find out about this? So we ourselves as readers and as kind of consumers of this content are also in the same kind of conflict that our main character's in. At some point we want him to succeed and really get where he wants to get in life, but we also want him to play it safe and not expose himself. Pause. So there's this constant back and forth that our main character has in the manga, but then also this back and forth that the reader has. At least I did. And like I mentioned before, there's a huge blend of genres here. We have insane kaiju monster action. We have some like samurai stuff mixed in too, which is super cool. And even like Monster Hunter vibes for a little bit. It's super dope. But at the same time, we get a super gripping drama and also almost romance vibes too, kind of woven into the series. Now, I've never read anything from the writer of Kaiju No. 8. For my research, I couldn't find that they wrote anything else other than this. Maybe they worked on other series or something like that, but I couldn't find really any information on anything else they've done. And if this is their first like serialized series, it's super amazing too, because I'm honestly blown away. There's a lot of good creators that have had amazing first series come out, but I myself haven't experienced that as a manga reader currently. I haven't seen any writers or creators kind of take off once they drop a series or something like that. So I wasn't there for like the hype when the Death Note creators kind of took off. I wasn't there for when Oda made One Piece and kind of took off. I wasn't there for any of that. So this is like the first time where I feel like I'm kind of on the ride with the manga creator as the series is coming out and as their career is probably gonna go even crazier. But point is, if the writer is capable of making Kaiju No. 8 straight up first series serialized, the potential here is crazy, and I'm only seeing the series get better and better. With all that said, I do believe that Kaiju No. 8 will probably continue to be my favorite current ongoing series into this year too. There are a lot of good series coming out, so hopefully some competition will kind of force everyone to step up their game and create even more better series and storylines. And I also kept seeing people say that Chainsaw Man is anime of whatever year it's going to come out. It's going to take over the world. It's going to be like Attack on Titan. It's going to be crazy. And while I believe that Chainsaw Man will probably have a huge impact on the anime scene, and it already has had a huge impact on the manga scene, some people will also probably kind of put the whole manga craze directly on Chainsaw Man and like Demon Slayer for really pushing manga into kind of like the mainstream and getting people that aren't even really into it even more into it. And while I did enjoy Chainsaw Man a lot, and I do think the anime is probably going to be amazing if we're honest, out of the two series, I enjoyed Kaiju No. 8 way more. Now obviously this is just my opinion. I can see and understand, as well as honestly maybe even agree, that Chainsaw Man is a more intense story, but the point is that I enjoyed reading Kaiju No. 8 so much more. And that's the key. The enjoyed part is the key. I was always super excited to open the Shonen Jump app seeing a new chapter for Kaiju No. 8. I was always super excited when I was binge reading chapters to scroll to the next one. There was always a kind of a hype on continuing the story for me. And also let me be clear here, I'm not saying I didn't enjoy reading Chainsaw Man or I wasn't excited to read it. I literally read all of Chainsaw Man in like under a week. I binged the fuck out of it. And on top of that, I think Kaiju 8 literally has, in my opinion, an amazing story with some awesome characters and amazing writing that I think even the newest manga readers can get into and understand completely. So please, if you haven't read Kaiju No. 8, honestly do it. It's worth the time. It's worth the money of buying the first volume. It's definitely, in my opinion, one of the most must-read series to come out recently. You can read it either through the Shonen Jump app here for the subscription or whatever, or you can buy the physicals, although obviously the physicals are extremely behind. I think only one volume has come out since then, so if you really want to get into it, digital's probably your best route, but physical's also kind of a thing if you want. So with that said, what manga did you read last year? What was your favorite series that came out? And then also let me know what manga series, in your opinion, is the best one that's going to be coming out this year. There's a lot of good things dropping, so what are you most hyped for? Also let me know if you guys like me reviewing manga and kind of talking more about manga versus anime. Obviously I make a lot of anime content, but I do kind of want to jump around and try a few other things out too, so hopefully manga stuff at least works out. But go ahead and like and subscribe on this video. That'd be super dope if you could do that, and have a good one, and thanks for watching.